Believe it or not, this HOA tyrant was right there beside my blue SUV in my own garage, fiddling with the door handle like she was casing the joint for a heist. I stood frozen, heart pounding, wondering if this was some twisted dream or if she was really trying to force her way into my ride in the middle of the afternoon. When I confronted her, she had the nerve to dial 911 on me for hovering near my own property. You can imagine how that played out. But the real shocker at the end? It hit harder than discovering a forgotten lottery ticket in your wallet. If you've ever butted heads with an overzealous HOA enforcer, spill your tale below. I'd love to hear it. This one's a roller coaster. Let me rewind to how this nightmare kicked off, because hindsight makes it clear I should have spotted the red flags from blocks away. I'm Alex Harper, 37, and I make my living as a traveling product designer. Sounds slick, right? But really, I craft prototype mock-ups for gadgets and inventions, showing inventors what their ideas could look like in the real world. The best part? My SUV's tricked out as a rolling workshop, folding workbenches, laser cutter, all the gear to turn sketches into tangible demos on site. I remember snagging that SUV like it was yesterday. I'd just scored a $60,000 gig for a tech startup's new device, and I strutted into the lot feeling unstoppable. The dealer pushed some bland gray van, but that deep blue beast caught my eye, and I knew it was fate. Spent my first evening in it prototyping a mini version of the dealership itself, just for kicks. That SUV wasn't just wheels. It was my freedom, my office on the go, my badge of success. And yeah, it's a bold blue, not navy, not teal, just a solid, everyday blue that somehow rubbed one nosy neighbor the wrong way, like it had personally insulted her sense of order. That neighbor was Karen Whitaker, 55, HOA chair for a decade straight. She used to clerk at the city hall, which probably fueled her obsession with bylaws and forms like others crave their morning brew. Her catchphrase? Guidelines are the backbone of civilization. She'd drop it at block parties with this holier-than-thou vibe, like she was reciting from some sacred text. From the jump, she eyed my SUV as a blight on her flawless suburban dream in our quiet corner of Portland. I'd catch her peeking through her curtains every time I'd pack or unpack tools. At first, I chalked it up to idle interest, but after the fourth time in a week, it dawned on me. This was brewing into something darker. It all ignited about a month before the big showdown. A pink slip landed in my mailbox citing unapproved vehicle hue, clashing with community norms. I chuckled and crumpled it up, tossing it aside while chatting with a neighbor, muttering, "Some folks got way too much time on their hands." Not my finest quip, I admit. Maybe I should have heeded it, but it seemed so petty. My neighbor shot me a pitying glance and scurried off without her customary hello. Turns out, she was hinting that Karen wasn't one to cross lightly. The next week, another notice arrived with a $20 penalty. I let it flutter away in the breeze without a second glance, figuring ignorance would make it vanish. Neighbors started dodging eye contact, some jaywalking to skip chit-chat. The HOA's grip was already squeezing me out, but my bullheadedness blinded me. By week 3, a third letter demanded $75 and hinted at lawsuits. Legal threats over a paint job? Laughable, even for HOA lore. But I missed the memo. Karen didn't play by rational rules. Fast forward to that fateful Wednesday afternoon around 4 p.m. I stepped out to snag my insulated thermos from the SUV's compact cooler. Yeah, it's got a setup for snacks during marathon sessions. And there she was, Karen Whitaker, hovering by the driver's door with a slim wire tool, jabbing at the lock like it was routine maintenance. My brain short-circuited. Is this happening? Is she breaking in, broad daylight, on my turf? The sheer audacity floored me. I whipped out my phone, hands shaky, and hit record, whispering, "This is straight out of a bad thriller." For a good 40 seconds, I watched, pulse racing, debating if filming was my shield or just fanning the flames. Am I the villain here, or the only sane soul in this farce? I cleared my throat, and she jolted like she'd touched a live wire, whipping around with fury blazing in her eyes. "What are you doing?" she snapped, as if I were the intruder. "MS. Whitaker," I replied, forcing calm despite my thundering heart. "What exactly are you up to with my SUV? HOA offering complimentary break-ins now, or should I ring the cops?" She babbled about mandatory checks and civic standards, waving a flimsy sheet that screamed homemade forgery. "Guidelines are the backbone of civilization, Mr. Harper," she intoned, all self-righteous. I kept the camera rolling, capturing every wild excuse, unsure if this was ammo for my defense or bait for her wrath. Rather than escalate, I stayed cool, though adrenaline had me trembling. Karen grew irked that I wasn't exploding as expected. She brandished her phony permit, rattling off infractions, oversized work rig in a home zone, clashing color palette, tool racket disturbances. Hilariously, her volume spiked while griping about noise. I stood there, phone steady, wearing a "you've got to be kidding" face, masking my inner storm. Then it went nuclear. Karen yanked out her phone and called 911, voice shifting to quivering damsel. "Emergency, I'm being harassed. This man's filming me during official duties. His SUV's sketchy, and he's menacing." My gut twisted. Visions of wrongful takedowns and viral infamy flashed. She's flipping the script, summoning sirens on me for existing near my own wheels. She fed the dispatcher my address, painting me as a hulking stalker in a green polo, tailing her for weeks. I itched to snatch the line and set it straight, but trusted the video would vindicate me, so I prayed, doubts creeping in at her Oscar-level theatrics. As she spun her yarn, paranoia surged. She knew my schedule inside out. I typically headed out by 5 p.m., spot on but creepy unless she'd been surveilling. She noted my late-night tinkering sessions, not casual knowledge. She eyed my entryway cam with a sly glint and positioned herself to obscure its view of her tampering. After she stormed off, vowing police justice, I dove into my security feed. Chills hit. The cam, usually aimed at the garage, now faced the curb. Tampered at 3:15 p.m., just before I emerged. This wasn't spur of the moment. It was premeditated malice. Suddenly, recent oddities clicked. SUV alarms blaring at odd hours, nothing amiss on check. Was someone probing my defenses, mapping my habits? The punch. This wasn't a mere spat. It was orchestrated menace, far more chilling than I'd grasped. Who else was in on it? How ruthless would they get? Sirens wailed 20 minutes later, tightening my chest. 2 cops rolled up, a green rookie with a stern facade, and Detective Hayes, a veteran weary of petty feuds. Despite my innocence, nerves jangled headlines of SUV owner cuffed in hue hysteria haunted me. When cops arrive on your doorstep, doubt whispers you're somehow guilty, especially against a slick operator like Karen. She burst from her home, playing the assaulted innocent, tears flowing in a performance that could have won awards. She accused me of shadowing her, dubbing my SUV hot merchandise, claiming my recording was assault. For a heartbeat, I questioned myself. Did I misread her actions? But no video anchored me, those shakes lingered. "Officers," I said evenly. "This clip tells the tale better than words." I played it, Karen prying at the lock. Detective Hayes's boredom flipped to alarm, the rookie's brow arched. "Ma'am," Hayes stated gravely. "False emergency call and property meddling, that's on you." Karen's facade shattered, stammering about HOA rights and protocols, but they weren't swayed. "No board green lights break-ins," the rookie asserted. "File legit gripes properly." Relief washed over me as sanity prevailed. Then my senior neighbor, Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, sidled up, jittery, scanning for eavesdroppers. "Alex," she murmured tensely, "not out here." She slipped me a folder. "You're not her first mark." My fingers quivered, opening if this vibe screamed bigger stakes. Inside, 2021 emails between ex-neighbors, the Pattersons, and county HOA watchdogs. Snaps of a trashed yard, punctured tires, shattered panes, vandalism filings unsolved. I sank onto my stoop, head in hands, reeling from the calculated ruin. The Pattersons had griped about Karen's nitpicks over their herb patch deemed tacky for the vibe. Within weeks, sabotage struck, citations piled, and they fled, selling cheap to escape the torment. They weren't alone, Mrs. Brooks confided softly. The Millers in 2022, Thompson's last summer defy Karen, and accidents, mount till you break. Hands trembling, I pored over the docs, guilt gnawing. How many lives shattered before mine? I mocked that initial notice. This was no overeager busybody. It was a methodical purge of dissenters. Vandalism waves, bogus fines, until families cracked and bolted. Staring at those ravaged images, dread swelled. Was she just rigid, or a true threat, dismantling existences for control? The proof screamed the latter I was outmatched. The following days were hellish. Envelopes stacked. Monday, industrial rig overnight, slap with $100. I scoffed aloud. SUV unmoved for weeks. Tuesday, disturbance breach, $125 while it sat silent indoors. Wednesday, illicit enterprise, $175 for spotting me with a toolkit. Thursday, non-response penalty, $225, snowballing nonsense. By week's end, over $600 in phantom dues loomed, threatening bankruptcy if I caved. Pacing my workshop Friday eve, I seethed, this is torment. This is battle. But rage cooled to strategy. I dissected each site, finding most twisted non-rules or invented clauses. Saturday dawned with a rap at my door. Karen, beaming with a tray of oatmeal raisin treats, like we'd shared a tiff. I paused, hand outstretched, thinking, no thanks to your poison piece. But curiosity won. Alex, she cooed, syrupy sweet yet edged. Let's mend fences sans courts attorneys drain wallets, and escalation? Such a drag. Her grin masked menace. For a flash, I pondered repainting beige and done. But those Patterson pics ignited resolve. This was dominance, not dialogue. Her sweets were ploy too, since bullying lagged. Goal unchanged, bend or banish me. I accepted politely, inwardly snarling. If cookies erase your felony attempt, you're madder than I figured. Should have trusted my gut from day one. I phoned Ryan Keller, my old college pal turned property attorney. Man, he said post-recap, devour those HOA doc spot cracks before she buries you. Weekend buried in 52 pages of legalese, eyes aching, dozing with marker clutched, chanting clause 12.4 like a spell. Joking inwardly, I craft tiny innovations, now cracking HOA riddles like a backyard sleuth. On page 19, jackpot, clause 12.4 exempted vehicles for creative, design, or niche trades with proof. Checkmate. I breathed a beacon amid the siege. Monday, my SUV's onboard cam showed zilch erased, reformatted by pro hands. Gripping the wheel, I hissed, she's got backup. Dread morphed to certainty. Accomplices lurked. Karen summoned an urgent HOA assembly, sole topic, grave breaches by 28, Oak Avenue dweller. Nameless, like I was a glitch to erase. The rec hall buzzed under glaring bulbs, chairs creaking with uneasy folks clutching agendas. Gossip had drawn a crowd, whispers slicing. The blue SUV dude? Heard the penalties. Boards gotta enforce. I packed proof. Clause 12.4 prints, SUV blueprints, gadget shots, client praises, Ryan on call. Briefcase heavy with hope, but scanning faces, doubt nipped. Facts versus. Her tenure? Odds stacked. Karen's slideshow was slick graphs charting community morale dip tied to blue paint influx, absurd yet persuasive. She framed my SUV as value killer, youth corrupter, societal scourge. Not mere transport, she boomed, laser on a circled pic, but erosion of our ethos. Let one slide, chaos follows. Room hushed, projector whirring. My turn, deep breath amid judging stares, voice wavering. I sought no feud just to create, undisturbed. Papers slipped, I mumbled sorry, feeling raw. I unveiled the exemption, demoed my mobile lab, touted local boosts. Nods emerged, Mrs. Thompson eyed blueprints keenly. But Karen unleashed tear-squaking voice, hand clutched. A decade plus serving you all, now hunted. From boss to broken in seconds. Gave my soul for our haven, yet stalked, taped illicitly. She wove tales of my drive-bys, her fear. Mood flipped, whispers turned hostile, aggressive type. Explains the exits. Mr. Thompson hedged. Heavy stuff pause for review? Code for stalemate, me doomed. Exiting amid murmurs, defeat crushed, facts bowed to sobs. That night, garage solitude amplified despair, tools mocking my flop. Truth versus theater? Latter one crowds. Insomnia gripped. Lose my rig, job tanks. HOA forces sale? Paint it drab? Note fiancé burned. 3 days on, a registered mail chilled me. Liability for communal gate and greenery ruin. May 22nd. $4,500 fix. Tracks match your vehicle. Thrice read. I slumped, echoing for $1,500. That eve, SUV garaged solid sleep driving? Absurd. Dash to the site. Mangled barrier, rutted beds. Deep tracks, truck-like but anyone's. How match without my tires? Setup stench strong. Sleuth mode. Odometer/gas, unchanged. Home cam confirmed no movement. Hunted other feeds. Neighbor's doorbell glitched but captured midnight. Navy pickup ramming through. Plate fuzzy. Cap-clad driver. HOA logs, via Ryan's Insider, showed maintenance access that night by Tyler Whitaker, Karen's 21-year-old kin, HOA IT gig. Puzzle solved. Nausea rising. Family plot. Tyler's tech prowess explained cam tweaks, deletions, frames. His Navy truck matched. He'd aided her purges for years. 2 days compiling. Log shots. Doorbell clip. My alibi feed. Tread mismatches. Ryan timelined it ironclad. Kitchen table buried in proof. Realization dawned. Not solo psycho-clan conspiracy. Depths unknown. Rather than sue, Karen pitched amicable resolution at a remote Exxon lot, 7 miles out. Ryan flagged it clever for secrecy, but off-kilter. Why not local? What ambush brewed? Storm skies loomed as we parked early, phone primed, Ryan's laptop loaded. Detective Hayes shadowing unmarked. If shady, we nail her, Ryan said. Nerves electrified in this, or she'd twist deeper. Karen arrived smug, folder in tow. Smart choice, Alex skipped the circus. But spotting Ryan, facade cracked. Actually, I countered, documentation's key. Hear this first. Ryan played the bomb. Accidental butt dial audio from Tyler to a pal fed up. The pal leaked it. Aunt Karen, cam's cleared per your ask. Used the Navy one. Her. Ensure track cell. Hit the beds hard. Stash at your buddies. Tyler, if caught. Her. Deny. Their word versus ours. Karen blanched. Claws gouging folder. Leg jittering. She lunged. Fabricated. Slander. But meltdown drew phones pump patrons filming. HOA psycho unraveling. Call security? A clerk pondered. This is libel, sue you, she shrieked as Hayes emerged. Karen Whitaker, arrested for false alarms, tampering, vandalism, fraud conspiracy. Miranda'd amid rants, her act flopped. Tyler crumbled post-pickup, spilling 2 years of staged wrecks, forged sites, neighbor ousts. Hours later, arrest vids viral. HOA villain busted framing resident, headline news. 8 months on, verdict dropped. Karen, 9 months behind bars, $7,000 fine, 3 years supervised. Tyler, 300 service hours, HOA blacklisted. Restitution flowed to victims, including Patterson's. I hand-delivered their closure at their cozy ranch. You nailed it. She's done. Their eased faces repaid every ordeal. HOA ousted her via snap vote. Mrs. Brooks ascended, scrapping sham fines, exempting my SUV eternally, mandating evidence for penalties. Our Portland enclave thrives now. Events boom, crime dips, values up 15%, board aids not assaults. Karen's pad sold, buyers went lime greeno gripes. My blue SUV gleams in the drive, fueling my designs countywide. Victory's sweet, but I still triple lock, wary of shadows. Bullies bank on exhaustion or fear silencing you. But push back, even outnumbered, and truth can topple empires, especially when they gift-wrap their downfall. What do you think? Should HOAs have this much power over personal property, or are they just legalized bullying? Ever faced a neighbor who crossed into criminal territory for standards? Would you fight like I did, or cut losses and move? Drop your takes below, smash that like if this fired you up, and subscribe for more real-life showdowns that prove standing tall pays off.